top. It's on and popping. NFL Wildcard Weekend 2021. Let's talk about the night game, Rashad.
Yeah.
Interesting matchup. We got the Washington football team versus the Tampa Bay Bucs. Washington's coming into the game, sub 500 record on the year, 7-9. They limped their way into the playoffs, literally. My biggest concern with this game, I'm not worried about the Washington defense because they got one of the best defensive fronts in the league. Montez Sweat, Chase Young.
Yes.
I mean, they've got some hogs up front.
Four first-round picks on that D-line.
4 first-round picks. If they can get to Brady, and Brady has been vulnerable this year at times, throwing interceptions.
More than any other year of his career, this year, when he struggled, when he's under pressure, he is literally giving the ball away.
And the thing about it is the Bucs have been on a roll coming into the game. They got a 4-game winning streak. They finished the year at 10-6. Antonio Brown is gelling with Brady now. You still got Chris Godwin. Mike Evans may play. He has that knee injury he suffered in Week 17 against the Falcons. So if they got Evans coming back with all these weapons and Gronk, I think it's hard to stop, right? But Brady's got to have time to throw the football. So if the Washington front 4 can get to Brady, put pressure on Brady, force him to make some mistakes and some erroneous throws, they got a shot. But my bigger concern is on the offensive side of the ball because you got Alex Smith coming off a strained calf injury. He didn't look good against the Eagles at all.
No,
he looked very uncomfortable, right? And then you got Taylor Heineke coming in. Coach Ron Rivera said earlier in the week that he may rotate both quarterbacks at times during the game, which I think isn't a bad idea. Heineke can move around a little bit with his legs, right? But if Washington can't put up enough points, I don't see how they're going to win this football game.
And I agree with you, but to Washington's credit, they played an Eagles front that is legit. Let's be honest now. With Cox and those boys over
Cox
there.
didn't play.
Well, yeah, he didn't play, but still, they got some hogs on that D-line with the Eagles. So Tampa doesn't have that. They have guys on the edges with Pierre-Paul and Barrett, but they don't have that interior guy. So for me, I look at it like this. This is my upset pick of the week, man.
You going there?
I'm going.
Now hear that? My man is going there, right? Right? He's saying that the Washington football team is gonna knock off Tampa Bay.
Yes.
An 8.5-point dog.
Yes. I think if they can get pressure with this front 4 and force Brady to like we said, we mentioned earlier, he gives the ball away this year more than any other year when he's under pressure. And yes, that offensive line has given up 22 sacks on the year, but that stat is misleading. They're 1-6 against winning teams this year.
Right? That says a lot.
Their only win is against Green Bay in Week 5, I want to say.
But remember, Washington has a losing record.
And you're right.
Not a winning record.
You're right. So, I just think they can pull off the upset if they keep it close with Alex Smith and he doesn't make many mistakes. I just think they can do it, man.
Okay. We're going to see what happens. I mean, I think the backfield of the Redskins with McKissick, Fuller
at corner.
I think that they can make some noise. But I really think it comes down to quarterback play. Because Heineke doesn't have a lot of experience, playoff experience. I think none, to be exact. And Alex Smith, who is a wily veteran, been in the league a long time. I've always been a fan of him. Great comeback story, by the way. The man nearly lost his leg.
Comeback player of the year.
Nasty injury last year. Came back from that. I'm rooting for him. Shout out to Alex Smith having the courage to even get back on the field.
Yes.
Because if it was me, I might have just hung it up.
I would have.
Because he's financially stable. But the man has a lot of heart, has a lot of courage. Washington's a great story with Coach Ron Rivera beating cancer. Shout out to him. I hope everybody stays healthy out there. But it's going to be an interesting matchup. Night game. Tampa Bay this year has kind of been sketchy under the lights. They haven't played well at night. They lost to the Rams in a night game.
Yes.
They lost to the Saints in a night game. That game starts at 8 o'clock on the East Coast. Weather won't be too much of a factor. I think it's going to be in like the 35 to 40 degrees. It should be a little cold, but I don't think that's going to influence the game at all. But I like Washington to cover this spread. It's 8.5. The over-under is 45. I do believe the game's going to go under with that Washington defense. I think the Washington football team covers that spread, but I think Tampa Bay at the end of the day wins this game.
Yes, and you can't bet against Tom. Let's be honest. You know, you can't bet against Tom. It's Tom Brady. He's the GOAT, right? But again, this is my upset pick of the week. I think Washington gets it done. I think their ceiling is divisional round. But people are, they're 7-9. They're squeaking into the playoffs. But they can win a game like this. Ron Rivera has done it with the 2014 Carolina Panthers. He did it with Cam Newton. They barely won that division, limped in, and won the wild card round. So I think he gets it done with Alex Smith.
Well, that's why they play the game, right? We're going to see what happens, but he's taking Washington football team. I'm rolling with the Bucs. I don't think they cover that 8.5. We'll see what happens.
Sport bumping too short, bumping too short. 18's got the rear view mirrors vibrating. And this dating, you know how we do.